Fulton pours in a fastball to Jeff McNeil for a called strike. No score in the top of the second inning between the Mets and Marlins. Jack McMullen, Rod Allen, Steven Strom. We are privileged to have Tim Kurkjian join us in the booth for this half inning as McNeil lifts one in foul ground, left side. The catcher, Liam Hicks, towards the dugout. Can't make the catch. He goes crashing into that fence in front of the manager, Clayton McCullough, but that's just strike two to McNeil. Tim, thank you so much for doing this. And you're bouncing around. You were in Arizona. You flew in this morning. Do I have that right?
Yes, this is my 45th spring training. Wow. I covered Rod Allen when he used to play.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I flew in this morning and came straight here, and I need to see the Mets, and I've got Soto in the lineup, Alonso in the lineup, McNeil in the lineup, and Lindor in the lineup. So finally, I got some luck at spring training.
And you get a look at a couple of five-starter battles, right? You get Blackburn, you get Meyer. McNeil rips one on the ground over to first. Mishandled by Jonah Bride. Flips to the covering Fulton, not in time. So McNeil aboard. He'll reach on E3 on Jonah Bride. What do you remember about Rod Allen as a player? I'm really curious.
He was a really good broadcaster when he was a player. Now, I go way back with Rod. I go way back with so many people. And this is why spring training is still my favorite part, is the relationships that I've been building all these years. Yeah. I run into guys, some of whom I haven't seen in a couple of years. I saw Nick Punto yesterday. It was great.
But one thing we do know, we know you. You're one of the hardest men in baseball, and I've admired you for a number of years. You're doing a doubleheader today. You're here, and then you're going to West Palm.
Yeah, I used to see all 30 teams in spring training. Those days are over, so now I have to double up.
Yep. 0-1 pitch is poured into Luis Torrens, the sixth-inning catcher. So the count 0-2 now. But you were in Arizona. How many camps did you get done in Arizona?
I saw 12 camps, but I went to 3 different camps in one day. So I'm not exactly doing a thorough job, but at least I could say I saw these teams on that day.
You're
checking some of those facilities are so close together, you can get to them in 15 minutes.
Yes. 45 minutes is the longest ride in Arizona. Yep. And on Friday, I'm going to be driving from Port St. Lucie to Clearwater. That's a good 3.5. There's nothing like that in Arizona.
I was out there for the Arizona Fall League in, October or so, and I thought the hour was brutal. But you know what? You're going to do 3.5. I understand. Do you have – I don't want to put you on the spot with this one. 1-2, Mrs. Lowe. Do you have a camp that kind of invokes memories from your early days of making your way around camps? Is there a certain one that you think, you know what, this is always fun when I'm here?
Well, I saw the Dodgers the other day, and that's the easy one, but I have never in my life seen a scene like we saw there.
2-2 misses inside, counts full.
I didn't think it could get any bigger than last year. Last year was an 11 on a scale of 10. This year we're up to a 12 because there are 500 Japanese reporters in the clubhouse. Needless to say, it's hard to do your work in the clubhouse when there are way more media members than players.
I am sure. 3-2 has to wait. Fulton throws over to check on McNeil. I conversed with Walker Buehler last year, and he said he felt like the Beatles. I don't know what's bigger than the Beatles, but nothing. Maybe the L.A. Dodgers in 25.
Well, 3 Japanese pitchers in the rotation is pretty close to the Beatles.
Did you get to chat with Sasaki at all?
No, but I saw him throw.
3-2, a hot shot over to short, handled by Acosta, flips to second for one, on to first, in time for the double play. Nice pick by Acosta at short.
Real nice glove work. I mean, sometimes you have to make the adjustments with the glove, and that's exactly what he did. Tim, let me ask you about this Marlins team. I've never seen anything done what Peter Bendix did last year, while revamping the entire organization, trading away a lot of different pieces. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I've seen some major rebuilds before, and I'm convinced after all these years that if you're going to do it, you got to do the complete rebuild.
He did.
We saw the Cubs do it. We saw the Astros do it, and it led to world championships. If you're going to do this, you've got to go all the way, which is not easy to do. But the Marlins are at least have a plan here, and I admire that plan.
First look at the ABS challenge system. Just called a ball. It was a strike, so the call was overturned. I'm sure you have a thought on the ABS challenge system at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No. I'm 68 years old. I'm not a big fan right now.
Fair. Fulton's next pitch. That one popped high in the air out to shallow right field. Myers, the right fielder, working in. He makes the catch. I know you're a busy man. Do you have a half inning?
Of course.
Let's do it. We'll come back for the bottom of the second. Next, no score between the Mets and Marlins on the Marlins Radio Network. Marlins fans, Miami icons Luis Fonsi and Flo Rida are teaming up for an epic opening day postgame concert live on the field. Get your tickets before they're gone at marlins.com/opening day. New arm to the game for the Mets is Genesis Cabrera. No score in the bottom of the second. Tim Kurkjian, are you making your way down for the Flo Rida postgame concert in Miami?
I've seen 3 concerts in my entire life, so I don't think I'll be going to a 4th tonight.
What are they?
Well, Dan Fogelberg in college, that
Okay.
was a disaster. Kenny Chesney, and then I went to see Yellow Card with my daughter when she was in the
Nice.
8th grade. I got Yellow Card and Green Day mixed up. At the end of the night, I was calling it Green Card. I screwed up everything. But I got the kids safely home on a
Good.
school night
Good.
at 1 o'clock in the morning from a concert.
Man,
a near disaster.
I'm sure it was a productive day at school as well. We were talking as the final out of the inning. It was off the bat of Rafael Ortega. We were talking about, the Marlins and the rebuild and the job that Peter Bendix is doing to this point. And you said, a lot of the time when you go total rebuild, it'll result in legitimate success.
Right. It just takes some time, and everyone has to be patient.
First pitch to Jonah Bride misses inside.
And again, this is not a great division in which to rebuild right now because there are 3 elite teams in this division. But again, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right away and finish it as quickly as possible.
Next pitch from Cabrera is a 1-0 that's in there for a called strike.
And back to the pitch thing. Look, I think the umpires are pretty good.
I do, too.
And I think we're going to slow the game down. Let's just see if it works. All
Sure.
right, let's not just jump in there and say, oh, this is great. Let's see how it goes this spring.
Yep.
Well, Major League Baseball, they've been experimenting with this since, 2019. So they feel like they've got it all figured out now. But I'm with you. Max Scherzer said the exact same thing yesterday. I happen to believe the umpires are really good. They're very personable. They belong in the game in some capacity.
Yep. 1-2 pitch from Cabrera to Jonah Bride. Bounces in.
So I did a Dodger game the other day, and Dave Roberts said, well, the first guy on our team, I'm sure that's going to mention something about this, is Max Muncy, because he complains a lot about the
Right,
umpires.
right.
Second pitch of spring training, Max Muncy challenged the umpire.
Yeah.
So he was right on target.
I saw Dave made the joke as well. He was like, everybody has the green light to use the challenge system except Max Muncy. 2-2 pitch and misses inside.
Tim, I got a question for you. You were covering Dodgers camp, right? Clayton McCullough, we've gotten a chance to interact with him. He seems like super dude, knows the game. Just what were some of your initial thoughts on the hire?
Well, super dude knows the game, and growing up in the Dodger system, at least being there for the last few years, is really, really helpful.
I want to rip to the backhand of the shortstop, Lindor. He is so good over there. On one long hop, he gets it to Alonso to beat Bride, 1 man out.
The key to that play is there's a lot of shortstops in the big leagues that would have to leave their feet to make that play. But his first step is so efficient. He gets there, stays on his feet, and that's how he gets the out. The guys that leave their feet, that's a base hit for Bride.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers do things so well from top to bottom in their organization that when you're in their organization, whether you're a coach, player, whatever, you're going to learn an awful lot. So the Marlins manager learned an awful lot from the way the Dodgers have done business the last few years.
It used to be called the Dodger way when I came up. I mean, it was a certain way that you coached. It was a certain way that you went about your business. Of course, the Cardinals, they have their own way, but it was the Dodgers way initially. None of their coaches would ever leave.
Pitch from Cabrera is going to be a 1-0 to Liam Hicks, the Rule 5 catcher, in there for a called strike.
And the players didn't leave either, but now the challenge every offseason is to figure out who's on what team.
Right.
I have to carry my roster book wherever I go just in case somebody signs with somebody that I didn't see coming.
Sure. So obviously you knew Soto was coming with New York. 1-1 is fouled straight down. Hicks going to walk that off. Is there anybody that you've been taken aback by? Like, hey, I was in Arizona. Whoa, I didn't know you were in this clubhouse.
Yeah, I had a couple of those surprises, but I had to pretend like, oh, I knew you were here
Right,
when
sure.
I didn't. I just wish we could get free agency done a little bit earlier so we have a better idea of what the Red Sox are going to do when Alex Bregman shows up as opposed to a week before spring training. But these are just the little things I root for.
Sure.
I usually don't get those, but I root for them.
I know you're not the commissioner, man, but what is the state of the game? I mean, you've been around it a long time. I mean, what's your vision on where the game's going, how the game is, the young players? I mean, it just seems like it's in a great place right now.
It is. The game, look, I've never seen the last 10 to 12 years this kind of influx of young, great players. It started with Trout and Harper, and ever since then, we got guys coming to the big leagues who are so young, so unbelievably big, strong, and athletic, and we just have to teach them how to play the game, because right now they just overpower the sport with their physical gift. But this is a great time. I mean, ratings are starting to go up, attendance is starting to go up, the pitch clock has made a difference. I wish we could get rid of the ghost runner, but that's just me. But I think we're in a really good spot, and I hope people are watching the talent on the field, because it is breathtaking to watch.
Yep. Genesis Cabrera ahead in the count of ball and 2 strikes to Liam Hicks. And the next pitch wanded at and missed for strikes 3. So there are 2 men gone. You know, I think about pitching when I think of that as well, because you've got, you know, obviously Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh is the next face of pitching, right? But you've got arms coming up that are throwing 100 miles an hour. Jackson Jobe in Detroit, Andrew Painter in Philly. The Marlins have some of those guys as well. You'll see a reliever here. Oh, man, he's got 99, 100 miles an hour in the tank. Where are you at on the state of pitching in baseball?
Well, we've never seen stuff like this
Dane Myers takes a called strike.
in the history of baseball. Now, we just, again, have to teach them how to harness this unbelievable stuff. But velocity is ridiculous. Spin is ridiculous. Change-ups are ridiculous. I don't know, Rod, I don't know how a guy gets a hit anymore.
It's hard.
The pitching is so good now.
A 1 pitch misses inside.
Question regarding fastballs. The ratio for breaking balls against fastballs is way up nowadays.
Right.
10 years ago, more fastballs. Will we ever see a guy command the fastball like Kurt Schilling commanded the fastball in the strike zone?
Well, I hope we do, because Kurt Schilling told me once
Next pitch fouled away.
he threw 84 pitches in a game, had a one-hitter going through 7 innings,
Sure.
and only threw a fastball. He looks
Oh
at
my
Dutch
God.
Dalton after 7 innings and says, "Do you think we should throw something other than a fast?" And he said, "Why would you want to do that? You've allowed no runs and 1 hit in 7 innings." Greg Maddux and those guys from that era, Rod knows this better than anyone, could locate the fastball, and there's no telling what you can do if you can do that.
Best pitch in baseball, steal.
Yes.
Well-executed fastball. That one fouled away, so the count stays
And that's
ball
what
and 2
Maddux
strikes.
used to do. He'd go throw a bullpen, and every pitch he threw in the entire bullpen session, depending on what it was, fastball down and away. And they asked him, "Why do you do that?" And he goes, "Well, that's going to be the most important pitch I throw against this team on Wednesday, so I'm going to practice it." Nobody does stuff like that anymore. That's why Greg Maddux was Greg Maddux.
Gotcha. 1-2 pitch to Myers. He lays off.
You're an
Count
old
2-2.
school guy. You already brought it up. You said how old you were. We don't have to say that, but where are you with all the analytics and all the pitch tracks and all the other stuff that's involved in the game today?
All right, look, though there's a place for those statistics. Some of them are very handy to have, but I'm still want to watch the game. I'm going to trust the eyes and the ears of our best managers, coaches, and instructors.
Next pitch, foul tip, held on to a swing and a miss. Ends a 1-2-3 inning.
It's probably good we ended it there, 'cause I might get angry in a minute. Look, there's a time and place for everything, but let's start watching the games again, because that's what this is all about.
Tim Kurkjian, appreciate you
Tim,
swinging
thank
by.
you.
Thank you
Well,
so
thanks
much.
for having me. I'm going to another game now.
Yes, go get him. We're through 2. No